Kayvon Thibodeaux is projected to be a top 5 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft and could make an argument to be the best player in that draft class. The Oregon defensive end has been scaring offensive linemen for years. But who is Kayvon Thibodeaux? In the Who Is series, we go through the backstories of up-and-coming collegiate and pro athletes. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and let me know who you want to see in future episodes. Kayvon Thibodeaux grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and growing up, he never really thought he would have an opportunity to go to college according to the Los Angeles Times. Aside from football, Thibodeaux blew up on YouTube, challenging strangers to chess matches at Venice Beach. When Thibodeaux was in 8th grade, he was actually kicked out of a Pop Warner All-Star game due to kids not being able to physically handle his tackles. When he was 13, Thibodeaux grew to be 6'2". Growing up, parents would complain that Thibodeaux was too big and demanded to see his birth certificate. He was excluded on the playground, and due to his size, teachers always assumed he was the culprit if something happened in class. But that all changed once he got to high school. Thibodeaux spent his first 2 years of high school at Dorsey High School in Los Angeles before transferring to Oak Christian School for better academics. He would make the 47-mile drive in his Ford Mustang that was 5 years older than him. As a sophomore, Vice magazine wrote about Thibodeaux saying he was the best pass rusher to come out of the West Coast this millennium. One of his goals as a sophomore was to become a lawyer and rebuild Dorsey and his community in South Central Los Angeles. He graduated Oak Christian with a 3.8 GPA and changed his career goal to becoming a broadcast journalist. Kayvon doesn't want to be defined by football, telling Bleacher Report, "There's a lot of kids that say they came from nothing and made it. Every rapper came from nothing. Every athlete came from nothing. But how many came from nothing and became a Fortune 500 CEO? How many people own businesses? How many people are able to say he helped not just himself, but his whole community turn from nothing to something?" As a sophomore, Thibodeaux recorded 14 sacks and 2 fumble recoveries. He increased his numbers his junior year, recording 20 sacks while also recording 99 tackles and 28 tackles for a loss. As a senior, he recorded 54 tackles and 19 tackles for a loss, along with 18 sacks. Throughout high school, he focused on a clock-in, clock-out mindset to create a work-life balance. When he was clocked in playing football or participating in the recruiting process, he put his full focus on that task. Once he clocked out after the job was done, he's just a regular high school student. The crazy thing is, he did not watch a lot of college or NFL football growing up and couldn't tell you what channel ESPN was, according to the Bleacher Report. According to 24/7 Sports, Kayvon Thibodeaux was a 5-star recruit who was the best player in California, 2nd best weak side defensive end, 2nd best player in his class, and 49th best player in rankings history. Thibodeaux received offers from some of the best programs around the nation from the likes of Alabama, Florida A&M, Miami, Oklahoma, Oregon, and USC. I mentioned Florida A&M because Thibodeaux took a visit to the Florida A&M and HBCU to draw attention to the school and to tour the university's archives that focus on African Americans' contributions in politics, science, education, athletics, and much more. Thibodeaux told ESPN, "I know these schools have great football programs, but I feel like more student athletes should go check out the history. There's a lot of history in the football world and college world. So every time I'm going to a place where I have an opportunity to learn some history, I like to." One of the biggest factors for the schools he was looking at was not the facilities or the stadium, but instead he wanted a good journalism school. One of the early frontrunners for Thibodeaux's talent was the University of Southern California. According to the Los Angeles Times, the top-ranked player in California, according to 24/7 Sports Composite, from 2013 to 2018, chose either USC or UCLA. Thibodeaux told recruiting sites back in 2018, "I can play anywhere with anybody, but USC being home and having my home atmosphere around, that is a plus. Them having an education is a plus. Them being in California is a plus." So why didn't Thibodeaux end up at USC? Well, according to the Los Angeles Times, there was a miscommunication between Thibodeaux and the school, and it was unknown whether Clay Helton was going to still be the head coach after a 5-7 season. This left the door open for Mario Cristobal and Oregon to swoop in. Oregon had a good journalism school and a head coach with job security, and as a result, Thibodeaux chose the Ducks over Alabama, becoming the highest rated Oregon recruit ever according to The Athletic. When Thibodeaux first got to Oregon's campus, he reached out to Deb Morrison, a distinguished professor of advertising at Oregon. Morrison explained, once he got here in January, he wrote to me and asked for an appointment. Those skills are not ones that a lot of freshmen bring in. He wrote and he said, I'd like to take half an hour to an hour and really talk about what I see as my dream and my mission. And he sat here and gave me his outlook on life. He said, I know football is going to take me to new places, but I want to have the tools for afterwards. The amazing thing about Thibodeaux is that he has a plan for after the NFL. Back in high school, he told ESPN, it's not really about football. Everyone wants to be football, football, football. But what if football doesn't work out? Football is only 0.1%, so we have to figure out another way to succeed other than football. Though the NFL is still his goal. Thibodeaux came into college with a lot of expectation around him. His goal was to graduate in 3 years and go on to the NFL. His second goal was to record 10 sacks a season. Thibodeaux came in and proved himself when he first got to campus. As a freshman, he would appear in all 14 of Oregon's games and start 5 of them. He set a freshman program record with 9 sacks and also recorded 14 tackles for a loss. His sacks came during crunch time too, as he recorded 7 sacks during the fourth quarter, which led the nation. He ranked second among freshmen in total sacks in the FBS and third in tackles for a loss. He also recorded 35 tackles. He set a Pac-12 championship game record with 2.5 sacks against Utah and blocked a punt. He was named the Pac-12 Freshman Defensive Player of the Year by the coaches, while also being named Pac-12 All-Conference First Team by the AP and a Freshman All-American by multiple media outlets. Thibodeaux went into his sophomore season with a lot of expectations, and he would not disappoint. Although Oregon would play a shortened schedule due to COVID-19 in 2020, Thibodeaux would start all 7 games. He led the team in sacks with 3 and tackles for a loss with 9.5. Thibodeaux also recorded 38 tackles throughout the season. Once again, he came up big during the Pac-12 championship game, accounting for 12 quarterback pressures, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 sack against his hometown USC Trojans. Thibodeaux was named the Pac-12 championship MVP and Morris Trophy winner. He was named to the first team All-Conference team by both the coaches and the AP, and named the second team All-American by a handful of media outlets. Going into the 2021 football season, all eyes will be on Thibodeaux. He has proven his ranking and hype was no fluke. What is the scariest part of everything? Going into this season, he will have now gone through 2 full off-season trainings. According to NBC Sports Northwest, he could also be in the Heisman conversation when all said and done. Yogi Roth told the Talking Duck podcast, I think it's worthy because he's that dominant of a player in the likes of Ndamukong Suh. I think he's got the ability. He's got the brand of Oregon that elevates him there. He's got all the stuff. Character, charisma. I think it'll be fun, and I think he's going to be the face of this conference. I really do. And I think Oregon is going to be talented, so if they can make a run at the college football playoff, we know how that works. He'll find himself in the mix. Even Thibodeaux himself tweeted Heisman 2021 on January 16th. Looking towards the 2022 NFL Draft, which will be the first draft Thibodeaux is eligible to be in, he is projected to be a top 5 pick and could go within the top 3. Personally, I am excited to see what Kayvon Thibodeaux is able to do this year and beyond on the gridiron and off it. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos in the Who Is series. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, remember to embrace the grind.